The Okapi knife has been a trusted companion on the African continent for over 120 years. Eventually, this became more than just a pocket knife. It became a symbol and cultural icon spanning from South Africa to the Caribbean. Depending on where you live, it might be the Okapi. It might be called a ratchet, or it might be called a three-star ratchet. Farmers carried it as they tended their crops, and criminal gangs used it to commit homicides. Despite their rough and relatively flimsy appearance, and the fact that they could be dangerous to their user, people have a soft spot for Okapi knives. In this video, I'll discuss the history and modern relevance of the Okapi knife. The original Okapi knife, like this example right here, was made in Solingen, Germany in 1902, but the design was copied from the Spanish navaja, which was a large ratcheting folder that has probably been around for over 300 years. Rumor has it that the Okapi knife was specifically made for Germany's Africa colonies. The Okapi knife was named after a rare African animal related to the giraffe. In 1915, during the Great War, Germany lost control of its Africa colonies, and German Southwest Africa became part of South Africa. It was at this time that all of South Africa was exposed to the Okapi knife. The knives were in such high demand in South Africa that Okapi knives continued to be imported from Germany during the Weimar Republic years. The Boers, who were sympathetic to Germany, really embraced the Okapi knife. Through two bloody Boer wars, the Okapi knife became a symbol of resistance to British imperialism. Okapi even made Boer War commemorative knives as a tribute to their cause. Then, as Black South Africans fought apartheid, the Okapi knife became a symbol of their cause. As the inner cities of South Africa became havens for organized crime, the Okapi knife became the weapon of choice for gang-related murders and for people wanting to protect themselves from that violence.
Manje mawuloku uhamba ungaphathanga next vele isibhazi zodlalela inhloko yakho yabo at least mama abacala bathi bayadlala at least ukhona uqashula umangubane uyangithola nenhleko Okapi ngibrand akayiqancanywa shabshab wabo kata utata basatla shabshab wabo feli re nna ke na le dikoqa mo kasi so lo ke na matsogo a bona bona la lo ke ga ke balela ke ena khotmana.
The Okapi knife was an integral part of South Africa's colonial rule and their struggles throughout the 20th century. Although Okapi knives were made in Germany, they were considered to be South Africa's own knife. As reggae music spread like a wildfire in the 1970s due to Bob Marley's influence, reggae artists took up South Africa's cause to end apartheid. South Africans and Jamaicans formed a bond, and with that, the Okapi knife became a staple on the island of Jamaica as well. Because of the 3 stars on the handle and the ratcheting action of the knife, Jamaicans referred to the Okapi knife as the 3-star ratchet. It became an instant hit with the Jamaican underworld and was popularly associated with criminals at first, but soon everyone was carrying an Okapi knife. Jamaicans loved their ratchets so much that they often decorate them and customize them to make them stand out from everyone else's knives. Also, Jamaicans learned to do tricks and opening techniques with their knives, which often involved modifying the locking mechanism to make them easier to swing open. A lot of Okapi knives in Jamaica weren't even sharpened at all. So in Jamaica, the Okapi became less of a knife and more of a status symbol. In 1988, the Okapi knife name and tooling were sold to a South African company, and that's where they're manufactured today. So at last, Okapi knives are made in South Africa, where they kind of always belonged.
This knife can get you in trouble or get you out of trouble. You can have a good meal.
The Okapi knife ratchets open under tension and then locks at full extension. To release the blade, you pull up on the lock tab and ratchet the blade shut without cutting yourself. And there's numerous techniques to accomplish this. The blade on the Okapi knife is 1055 steel, which is normally used on things like swords and machetes. And it's pretty soft, but it's really easy to sharpen, which is a positive attribute considering how this knife is used. The handle of these knives are resin impregnated wood, and real Okapi knives will have this classic 3 stars and moons design affixed to the handle. The 3 stars and the ratcheting action on this knife are why they're called 3-star ratchets in Jamaica. There are Okapi knife reproductions and imitations, most notably the cold steel kudu knife, which a lot of people actually like this better than the original Okapi knife. Okapi also makes, numerous other folding knife designs like this biltong knife right here. There's probably no knife in history that has wounded its owner as much as the classic Okapi knife. These knives have a bad habit of slamming shut and when they're under tension. And if your fingers are in the way, you're probably going to end up going to the hospital. Truth be told, compared to modern folding knife designs, the Okapi truly is lacking in desirable design features. It's just a little bit too flimsy for hard use. Its locking mechanism is unsafe compared to modern knives, and that's putting it lightly. It's a pain in the ass to open and close, and it's just not very comfortable in the hand. You buy and collect this knife because of the history that it represents, or as a status symbol on the streets of Joburg or Kingston.